Welcome to part 3 of Amazon Studios' Princess of Power. Before we start, let me quickly explain myself. I'm not looking at the series as a Tolkien show, but as the product of an evil corporation with the name Tolkien slapped onto it. I may like something that goes directly against Tolkien's lore for reasons of spectacle or efficiency, but it is nearly impossible not to compare the two. I'll be as fair as I can, but I'm trying to come at this as a television viewer and not a Tolkien expert, which I'm not. The show starts with Elfie, whose name I just can't seem to memorize, but I'll get there. Elfie has been captured by orcs, who are forcing he and many other prisoners to dig. This setup was nicely constructed. In the first 2 minutes, we're given all the visual information we need to follow the story. So, go through these in order. We see Elfie dragged along a strange corridor, choked with his oddly dressed captors and workers desperately digging. We quickly find these captors to be orcs. This place he's in would seem to be a mine, but for the sunlight coming through what appears to be a hastily constructed cloth cover. These two orcs speak of their hatred of sunlight, a quick reminder that orcs burn in the light.
Toss him out with the rest.
You toss him out with the rest. I had such yesterday.
No staying son to you. That is cowardly.
This is smart, efficient. Give us the basics and keep the story moving. Elfie is chained and told to dig. He quickly runs into 2 more elves we recognize. Hello. Elves from the fort near fucking Filth Town, to where Bronwyn and the rest of its denizens fled for protection. Boy, this is great. Information, information, information. The camera turns only for us to finally see that this passage is actually a trench. The chained workers slowly digging its way forward. We pull back to show a length of this excavation. It's been covered with a network of beams and this cloth covering. This is where we see captors digging, mercilessly driven by orcs. The cloth cover, a roof designed to protect these sun-sensitive beasts. This is visual storytelling, and I love it. Later, we see the sun come from behind a patch of cloud. An orc covers itself angrily and runs for shelter. You know, I like this. It's nice to see that the Rings of Power writing team has decided to finally treat their audience like adults. They're finally giving the viewer the benefit of the doubt. It's a sign of growth, and I, for one, applaud—
This must be how they escaped our detection, and how they shield themselves from sunlight.
Oh, never mind. This is 18 minutes and 53 seconds in, and they've still come to the conclusion that you don't get it.
First opportunity either of you has to get a glimpse above this trench, you take it.
Locate the closest tree line, and when the sun is at its strongest, we will make our escape.
Hold on. What does he mean by that? When the sun's at its strongest? Won't that be the hottest part of the day? I guess I'm just too stupid to understand.
If even one of us makes it home, we can return in force and sweep the enemy from these lands like salt from a table.
I will let this one pass. At least it makes sense. But why salt? I thought the elves would be more grand in their metaphors. Salt from a table seems so common. Why not, if even one of us makes it home, we can return in force and sweep the enemy from these lands like we swept Morgoth from the battlefield? Or, if even one of us makes it home, we can return in force and sweep the enemy from these lands like we sweep the heads from our foes? Or even, if even one of us makes it home, we can return in force and sweep the enemy from these lands like I sweep dingleberries from my butt crack with a wad of toilet tissue. It's fine. Trust me, it could have been worse. If even one of us makes it home, we can return in force and sweep the enemy from these lands like hamsters from a ceiling fan. Due to this elf's disturbing tree-sexual gender identity, a series of watery-related events leads this orc to cut this elf's throat. We see the cut. We see about 4 tablespoons of blood, and this elf dies. Look, I don't want to be a party pooper here, but a cut throat does not automatically lead to death. Generally, it's the blood loss that leads to brain death. This is dependent entirely on the depth and placement of the cut. Sorry, this not only doesn't look all that deep, but if there were an arterial laceration, there'd be a hell of a lot more blood than this. Was it an evil dagger that killed the elf with its scary magicalness? And if so, why aren't the writers holding my hand and over-explaining this to me? Look, this guy gets the equivalent of a wide paper cut.
Yes, that's the paper cut.
Then we see the palm full of blood on his neck. Yeah, this is a TV show. They're not going to show gouts of blood spraying from this guy's neck wound. But this is also a fantasy epic about the battle between good and evil. Wars happen. Death happens. Fuck, we see a warg take down these elves and it's pretty graphic. But they can't show a decent amount of blood pouring from between this pussy's fingers as he holds his throat? Bullshit. Bullshit. This was weak. Well, here's some things I liked about this section. The orcs. They look pretty good. We're finally getting a taste of where all those millions and millions of dollars are going. These orcs are very reminiscent of Peter Jackson's orcs. I mean, nearly 1-to-1. So reminiscent, in fact, that someone out there may have himself a viable copyright infringement case. The chain fight. I love that they're using these chains as weapons, and know that they're fighting their oppressors with the very instrument of their bondage isn't lost on me. I just choose to ignore it. This fight goes on for 3 minutes and 31 seconds, until Elfie has a knife to his throat. Oddly, it was actually almost too long as it seemed to flow from exciting to tedious and back. The warg. Not the greatest CGI, but I liked it. The warg is a vicious little fucker, and this sets it up nicely as a Tasmanian devil for future episodes. If the girls writing the show don't fuck it up completely. Speaking of which, this was a silly though technically well-structured scene. Almost as if they invited a man into the writer's room for a day to very slowly and clearly explain how to structure an action scene. And that's pretty much it for Elfie's part of the episode. Alright, so let's get the Harfoot section out of the way.
Nori?
Nori is caught helping Graham Chapman, and the tribe meets to discuss her fate.
The pages were all burnt up. Why didn't you bother to read them?
I thought we'd have time later.
Who's we?
Oh my god, Bertha's gonna get in trouble! Oh no!
No one. Just me, he's my friend.
Oh, never mind.
Our laws are clear. Any Harfoot that breaks them is to be decaravaned.
Oh, nosies! No, Nori, please, not decaravanned. Anything but decaravan. Decaravanning is death to a Harfoot. Nori, no. No.
Miss Brandyfoot is young. Tomorrow we depart as planned. And the Brandyfoot cart will be with us.
Oh, never mind.
At the back of the caravan.
The back of the caravan? Not the back of the caravan. Oh, see, they're falling behind. Falling behind means death for a Harfoot. Oh, it's all over.
So I think that
they're all gonna die. They're
was
gonna
really
turn
exciting.
into fucking cannibals and eat each other. Oh, fuck, little Harfoots eating each other's brains and guts.
This is how we keep up with the others, all of us. He helps us and we help him.
Oh, never mind.
I think that it's just evident that it just continues to engage audiences and continues to
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's kind of what happens with the Harfoots in this episode. It's just a lot of that. The only real thing of note happens here.
We don't need friends, girl. We need to survive.
Without friends, what are we surviving for? Good little Harfoots. Stick to the path, flee every danger. Heaven forbid we explore something new for
Eleanor,
once.
Did you catch the subtext? The Harfoots are a solitary nomadic tribe of fidgets that keep to themselves to keep alive. But Nori is different. It would appear that she has a longing for adventure. And what's more, she's going to embark on her most grandestest of adventures long before Bilbo or Frodo. You see, she did it first. Because girl. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the Harfoots. This episode ends on a trio. There are 3 interwoven stories, and as I love to save the best for last, let's get into it. It begins with Galadriel and Halliburton on a ship after being rescued at sea. We begin with this lovely image of Morphin Clark eating. Yeah. God. She and Halliburton are on a ship captained by Elendil, father of Isildur, on their way to Numenor. How's that for a big helping of things you know?
What is this place?
Well,
There is only one place it can be.
yeah, what is it?
The land of the star.
Why can't you just tell me?
The westernmost of all mortal realms.
Oh, for fuck's sake, just tell me.
The island kingdom
Yeah?
of Numenor.
Jesus, lady. Enough with the honorifics. I only asked, what is this place? This bit of exposition is fine. Now, I'm in no way claiming any kind of valid one-to-one of Tolkien's work, only that it was efficient. In 43 seconds, we're given a history lesson on Numenor and the elves. However, this is another hallmark of inexperienced writers. The good old exposition dump to get us up to speed. Might it have been more interesting to maybe have someone bring up Numenor in the first episode? Then again, maybe in the second episode? So that when Galadriel tells Halliburton where they are, we... I don't know. Maybe understand their predicament without having a character tell us that being in Numenor could be a problem when they're already in Numenor? Whatever, this is amateur hour. Moving on. Oh, hey, look, they walked onto a better show. Galadriel and Halliburton are taken before the Queen Regent of Numenor.
Name thyself.
Galadriel of the Noldor.
Oh, well.
Daughter of the Golden House of Finarfin.
Okay, I got it.
Commander
I only asked
of
your
the Northern
name.
Armies of
Okay,
High King
stop.
Gilgalad.
Please stop. And here we go again with this catty, bitchy dialogue.
It is because of the elves that you were given this island.
Our ancestors were not given anything. They paid for this isle. With the blood of their kin.
But one way or another, I will depart.
I welcome you to try.
I have no need of your welcome.
And you are quickly wearing out yours.
Then Halliburton, the man, steps in with a level head and control over his emotions to calm these two annoying bitches down.
Guards.
My friends, it seems to me that our leaving presents some complications.
Then something absolutely fascinating happens. Halliburton swipes a dagger from Elendil and gives it to Galadriel. How did he do this, and where did he hide it? Note to the writers, Halliburton and Galadriel are standing in a crowd of, 50, 100 people? In this shot alone, there are... Okay. Oh my god, this is tedious. By my very loose count, leaving out Elendil, Galadriel, and Halliburton, there are 117 people in this room. And there's still more behind here, and behind them, beneath the camera's POV. These include courtiers, politicians, guild heads, hangers-on, soldiers, and the Queen. Galadriel and Halliburton are the center of attention. Then old Bertie does something strange, hugging Elendil. Psychology 101 dictates every eye would be on he and Galadriel, and not just because they're new faces. It's a man and an elf in a land that doesn't allow elves. The people's fascination wouldn't allow for dismissal. So how did he take something the size of this dagger off of Elendil without being seen? Even the Queen Regent is staring straight at him. And after the pass-off, she's still staring at him. She didn't just see that. Gals, this is sloppy writing. Okay, so listen to this. So the Queen Regent is telling Elendil about this fucking tree.
The faithful believe that when the petals of the white tree fall, 'tis no idle thing, but the very tears of the Valar themselves, a living reminder that their eyes and their judgment are ever upon us. Do you believe that?
In my experience, it is unwise to live one's life guessing after signs and portents.
And that's an interesting thing he just said. He's clear-headed, serious, not prone to flights of fancy.
Though elves have been unwelcome on our shores since the reign of my grandfather's great-grandfather, you chose to break with that precedent. Why?
It was the sea that put her in my path. And the sea is always right.
I'm sorry, but isn't this guessing after signs and portents? And by the way, the Oxford Dictionary defines portent as a sign or warning that something, especially something momentous or calamitous, is likely to happen. So what Elendil actually just said is...
Do you believe that?
In my experience, it is unwise to live one's life guessing after signs and signs. Also, just to be thorough, the definition of sign is an object, quality, or event whose presence or occurrence indicates the probable presence or occurrence of something else. Kinda like believing that when the sea puts something in your path, it's always right? Like, I don't know, it's a sign? Bad writers, bad! You want me to roll up this newspaper? Do you? Bad! Then the Queen Regent flat out threatens his ass.
The sea cannot commit treason.
With respect, Queen Regent, Given the circumstances, I did only what I believed to be most prudent.
If, Elendil, that is truly your wish, then I shall have to ask you to perform a service.
Oh my god, no. Oh my god, she's gonna make him kill Galadriel. Oh my god, oh no, he's gonna kill her.
I'm afraid the Queen has charged me with seeing to it that you cause no further disturbance.
Oh, never mind. This is Fugazi, fake drama, also known as subterfuge or sleight of hand. But in this instance, I think we can just call it bad writing. Galadriel escapes her minders to show off her elfin skills.
You will inform Farazon that she's escaped. I informed him last time.
Hey, you ever hear of peripheral vision? None of these people on the street could see this chick hopping from building to building. Not this guy. I know these two girls just walked out, but they wouldn't have noticed a thing moving around up high where it's not exactly normal to have things moving around. Maybe from their periphery? Fine, I'll let it go.
The past is dead. We either move forward or we die with it.
Kill it if you have to.
Fucking seriously? No comment. See if you can figure out the point of this exchange, apart from some writer thinking it sounds Tolkien-y.
You'll be back at the palace in chains, even further from your destination.
Who is this mortal who speaks to me as if he has the slightest idea who I am?
I have a daughter who runs fast and a son who runs blind. Your eyes bear a striking resemblance to both.
Where I run and how I run there are none of your concern.
What is this dialogue? I'm sorry, what? This was so unnecessary. So, Galadriel asks, "Why do you think you know me?" And Elendil answers, "You remind me of my kids." And she says, "Mind your own business." There are other ways to do this. I'm sorry, but this dialogue was pointless. But this is the best part of the episode. Now, you know I think Morfinn Clark is cute. And you know I'd love to give that bitch a scorching case of monkeypox. But instead of giving me what I want, the producers of the show decided to get up to Dido's. First, they assaulted my senses with this grotesque display. And now they give us this. Alright, I swear to you I'm not trying to be an asshole, and I'm certainly not trying to be funny. When I saw this, I seriously thought they accidentally included a shot of Morfinn Clark's stunt double. It doesn't even look like her. Unfortunately, though, here it does look like her. Here, it looks just like Morfinn Clark, with Down syndrome. Ugh, this shot really kind of turns my stomach. Makes me wish Galadriel would go back to acting like a raging cunt. She's kind of hotter that way.
What is this?
Well, this is a thing called paper. We generally write words onto it, then stack a bunch of them up and bind them all together along one edge into a thing that we call a book. Oh, Galadriel, please, put your helmet back on before you hurt yourself. So, this episode was all set up and no payoff, and that'll happen with episodic television. It's not cliffhangers that bother me. I have very little problem with the cast. I like Morfinn Clark, so long as she never smiles and scares the shit out of me, that is. Charlie Vickers is growing on me. Elfie, what's his name, is fine. He's got a look. He's fine. I like Lloyd Owen from the moment I heard him speak. He can act, and he's got a great, craggy face. Owain Arthur is perfect casting. Daniel Wayman is fine. Lenny Henry. Nazanin Bona. Fucking Bronwyn. She's fine. Markella Kavanaugh is adorable. And as soon as she gets past attempting to emulate the actions of an 8-year-old, she'll be a pretty strong cast member. Robert Armaya. Ah, God. He can act. He's fine. It's not the cast that bothers me. The world is fine. The mix of landscape and CG works okay. It's at once beautiful and ugly and has a nice fantasy feel. It's not the world that bothers me. This series has the potential to be great, and it still can if they just pinpoint the problem and take care of it. The world in this show is fine. It's the words that the women writing this show use to build the world that's the problem. Less agenda, more storytelling. It's pretty simple. Now, I almost wish I hadn't said this, but I promised to give this show 10 more chances, and I intend to do just that. 3 down, 7 to go. I really want to like this show. Amazon is just making it very difficult to do so. Anyway, that's episode 3 of Princess of Power. If you're still here, I thank you for giving me your time.
So sad?